Good evening, friends. Happy Doctor's Day to all of you. So, dear friends, we have to start with the third year syllabus. We have finished the second year syllabus from all three philosophies, the Kant's philosophy, then Cloth's philosophy, and thereafter we have learned about the Roberts philosophy. All chapters, second year chapters, we have finished. Today, we are going to start with the third year syllabus. We have finished up to the chapter number 5 in second year. The third year syllabus, it's chapter number 6 up to the we have finished. So we have to start with chapter number 7. Our remedies, why they act. So it is a scientific aspect of explanation by Robert and Stuart Close regarding the homeopathic potentized medicine or homeopathic energy medicine. So he tried his level best to explain to the materialist that what is the basis of homeopathic remedies, how that those remedies, even though in a so minute form, why they act. And that's why he tried his level best to explain this concept of vital energy in relation with the chemistry, in relation with physics. So today we're going to start with this chapter, a little bit big chapter, but we must know it because there are a number of people who ask and who talks that homeopathic remedies are placebo therapy or it's all such comments. We should be able to fight with them that how scientific we are. So it is for that purpose we have to understand it for ourselves and then we can explain it to the world. Chapter number 7 from H.A. Robert, Our Remedies, Why They Act. In our thesis that homeopathy is fundamental, that it is scientific, and that it is based upon natural laws, we have quoted findings from other branches of pure science that have been so uniform and constant as to definitely point the way towards the underlying law. So whenever we say that homeopathy is most scientific because it goes hand in hand with the laws of basic sciences. So it goes hand in hand with physics, chemistry, as well as biology. They are in close association. There is no question that homeopathic law is different than the physics law. So that's why we used to say that it is more scientific. These, to recapitulate briefly, were from astronomy, mathematics, and biology, and have been compared with the closely similar findings of the action of drugs and their application in the states of health to produce artificially conditions simulating disease or to restore the disease states to the normal balance of the health. So he is explaining that when we have to consider the patient in the state of health as well as in the state of disease. We have to take into consideration all those things of the human life. You have to take into consideration the astronomy, you have to take into consideration the mathematics, we have to take into consideration the biology. Already those things which we have learned while learning the second year syllabus, that how it goes in hand. And these states of health, how it gets changed and reflects as a disease in the form of signs and symptoms. And if you want to bring that patient again into the state of health, how the remedy should be a potentized remedy and how it should act at the dynamic plane. Unless and until it is dynamic remedy, it will not going to produce a cure. If you give material medicine to the dynamic disease, it will only palliate but never cure. When we utilize our weapons, homeopathic remedies, they are in the same form, in the same plane, works, and that's why they have capacity to bring back again the state of health. So the disease, we used to consider that it is a change of state from state of health to the state of disease because of disturbance of the vital force. And this disturbance happens at the dynamic plane. If you want to bring this disturbance again into the normal state, you have to treat with similar type of medicine with the law of similars, and at the same time in the same plane our remedy should act, and that's why it should be potent. This is a simple thing. If your disease is dynamic, the treatment should be dynamic. If the disease is material, treatment should be material. This is a simple logical law, and that's why our remedies, we have tried to make them potentize because to work at the same plane. Let us consider once more some of our deductions as set forth in the former chapters on vital energy, and particularly in the chapters on vital energy and its universal application, that we may have it before us for examination in comparing our deductions from the other branches of scientific investigations with the study of natural laws, underlying principles adapted for the use in science of healing known as homeopathy. We shall quote from these chapters. These substances capable of being raised by potentization are derived from three kingdoms: mineral, vegetable, and animal. We cannot definitely say that the mineral substances in themselves possesses vital energy, but they are fragments of what? But they are fragments of that which composes the planet Earth. And that planet either possesses some form of vital energy in itself or is susceptible to being activated by the vital energy to such an extent that it performs its appointed movements according to the law. And we can use these minerals by proper preparation in the form of vital energy, not to perpetuate life, but to influence it on all three planes of the body, the mind and spirit, and the vital energy of the individual, may be thereby guarded against decay and death. He has given simple explanation, which he has already explained when he has written the chapter, The Vital Energy in the Universal Application. How this universe is made up of? There are different planets. Every planet has their own vital energy, because of which they are revolving around the sun in a specific direction. It is not changing. The sun is revolving around the earth is revolving around the sun in a specific direction. The Saturn is revolving around the sun in a specific direction. Every planet is revolving. How they are revolving? They are revolving because they are in motion. It means they carry the vital energy. Without the energy, it is not possible to move. They carry the energy. That's why they are able to move. So it itself suggests that every planet have a vital energy in it. Second important thing, we are part and parcel of those planets. If we go into finding it out, the constitution of the human being, our constitution is nothing but the constitution which is made up of the same elements which are there on the planet, on the earth. So though that part of the planet which carries itself their own vital energy from which we are born, and we have the same ingredients which the planet is having, so we carry the vital energy, and we are every time boosting it in order to maintain the energy. We are eating the food. How the food is prepared? If we are taking it in the form of vegetable, from where the vegetables are born, they again take their minerals, they take their ingredients from the same planet, which enters in them, gets digested, and then becomes palatable, and we eat them, and we get that energy. From the same source, we are getting that energy. So if it is so if we prepare a medicine from the plant, it carries the same ingredients which has capacity or which has the energy in themselves. So they will work on the human being, diseased human being. If we prepare our medicines from the same minerals which are part and parcel of that planet where the vital energy is there, those medicines will definitely work because they carry the vital energy. Only it is in potent state. We have to give them either a succussion, either a trituration. We have to apply the force, and we have to convert the type of energy. It is already present, but we have to change. We have to give the direction. We are transferring it from the potential to the kinetic form. So this is what he wants to explain, because if the peoples are commenting that homeopathic medicine is placebo medicine, no, it carries the energy. And from where it comes from the same planet. If we are taking into consideration the minerals and metals which we get from the planets. The planets are having same energy which is carried in those elements and minerals and We used to use that as a weapon. We used to use that as a medicine for treating the diseased human being. So first point which he has explained, that vital energy which is present in planets, we are using the medicines which are prepared from the minerals or metals which are taken from the same planets. And last sentence which he has mentioned, that they works if we utilize those minerals in proper preparation in the form of vital energy, not to perpetuate life, but to influence it on all three planes of the body, that is mind, spirit, and vital energy of the individual, may be thereby guarded against decay and death. If we are consuming that and we are maintaining our health, that itself indicates that death is prevented, the decaying is prevented, and we used to remain the healthy. Then he goes further, and what he says, we recognize the presence of vital energy in vegetable growth, for it is evidenced in growth and development of the plant according to the natural law of development. So we are preparing medicine from vegetables. Vegetables also carries the vital energy. It is there because of which they grow, because of which they develop. So vital energy which is transmitted from the planet to the vegetables, and vegetables which carries that vital energy grows, and we prepare the medicines from the vegetable kingdom. We have many more medicines from the vegetable kingdom, and those carries the vital energy, because of which that their vital energy works on the human vital energy and bring it back again to the normality. So this chapter, the name is Our Remedies, Why They Act. To explain it in simple word, they carries the vital energy in them, because of which they act. Simple. First common reason which is explaining, they carries the vital energy in themselves, because of which they act. Then he further says, we comprehend means we understand, akalan karne. We comprehend most easily the animation, the presence of vital energy in animal kingdom. What he is saying? Again, in animal kingdom also, we have the vital energy. We are part and parcel of animal kingdom. We have vital energy. That's why we are able to move. We are able to do every activity. There is a growth, there is a development, there is a further reproduction. All the characteristic of living being or animation are there. It is quite within the province of homeopathic physician, especially if he believes that homeopathy is based on fundamental principles underlying all elemental construction and development, to attempt to understand something of the basis of elements with which he has to deal, both in states of sickness and in health. This implies a knowledge of drugs, not only their action, but their derivation. And this not in superficial terms, but in terms of basic derivation and interrelation with universal construction. This deals with the physics in very definite way and in much deeper and more constructive and significant way than we usually consider. So now he is explaining again more scientificity of it. So what he is explaining over there, that we must know, or we must have the knowledge of drugs in order to treat the disease states. Person is remaining healthy, there are no more symptoms. When there are in some reasons, there are some dynamic entities happens in their life. The disturbance happens. The trinity of life, that is mind, body, and soul, disturbs because of disturbance of vital principle or vital force. And it reflects in the form of signs and symptoms. We used to apply law of similars. So we take the totality and match that totality with the drug totality. We have the drugs from all three kingdoms. We have the drugs from vegetable kingdom, we have drugs from mineral kingdoms, we have drugs from animal kingdom. So all these three things which have a vital energy in them. The vegetables are having vital energy, the minerals are having vital energy, and even animal kingdom is having vital energy. If that vital energy is present in them, which is either in active form or which is either in potentized form, we used to apply the law of similars, and we have to utilize this remedy which is based upon that. Then we give that potentized remedy to the patient. So the remedy which carries the vital energy in it, and it is in liberated form because of potentization method, it works directly on the vital plane, in the dynamic plane, and it it is the energy which removes the disease. It is the energy which makes that diseased vital force and reflects it or brings it again into the state of health. It is acting because it carries specifically a vital energy in it. And that's why these this knowledge of the physics, this knowledge regarding the very specific understanding about the energy is needed if we want to understand the action of our remedies. So here he is explaining, giving some examples from different books to explain the scientificity. Again, he takes the help of one book. What he says in his little book, Science and New Civilization, Millikan gives us some valuable hints in his chapter on available energy. His statement in this chapter is that all knowledge, all knowledge that helps towards an understanding of the nature of the universe, which we are part, which we are a part, is useful, and for we need very much more of it than we now have, or shall have for centuries to come, to enable us to direct our energies towards the wise, effective living instead of wasting them on beating tom toms or inventing perpetual motion machine or chasing either physical or social rainbows. If it be wise for average person to direct their energies toward the understanding of things about them, how much more is it the province of him who is entrusted with care of others through the use of drugs built up and potentized out of the elements. Let us consider further some of the Millikan statements in this chapter and their bearing on our specialty. He is explaining it. He is explaining that Millikan statement regarding the action of medicine. When we learn science, we learn many things. We learn, when we learn physics, we learn the matter. Then the smallest element of the matter, we call it by atom. Then we learn the structure of atom, the neutron, the proton, the electron. And we know at the center of that atom, there is an energy. If we make a nuclear division of it, the energy gets liberated. This is the scientific knowledge. And this, up to this, the scientists have reached. They have developed an atom bomb. What do? They releases the tremendous energy which is there inside the atom by nuclear division of that atom, and that energy which is used for the purpose of destruction. It depends upon human nature for what purpose we have to use, whether for the purpose of construction or whether for the purpose of destruction. If we use this same energy For the purpose of construction, that means for the purpose of treating human beings who are in a disease state, then what do we do scientifically when we treat human beings with the help of homeopathic remedy? When we do the trituration, when we do the succussion, what do? We release, or we are using same methods. We are releasing the energy which is there inside that drug substance, whether it is from mineral kingdom, whether it is from animal kingdom, whether it is from plant kingdom. We release that energy by trituration, by succussion, by the nuclear division of it, and we used to liberate that energy which is there in potentized form, liberate it, make it converted into kinetic form. And then this remedy worked as an effective remedy to bring back again the state of health. So it depends upon how do you use that energy. The same energy which is present in this earth, we can use for the purpose of construction as well as for the purpose of destruction. Here, by making homeopathic medicine or by utilizing medicines in the homeopathic way or methods, we used to utilize it for the constructive purpose. So our remedies are working because they are releasing the energy, and disease lies in the same energy. Let us consider further some Dr. Millikan's statements in this chapter and their bearing on our specialty. It is interesting and very important fact from the practical viewpoint too, that more than 95% of this universe, so far as we can know, now see, is made up of a very fine elements. What he is saying, what Millikan is saying, he is saying that whatever is there in this universe, 95% of the universe is made up of very fine thing, very important thing which he is making a statement over there. 95% of this universe, so far as can we now see, is made up of very few elements. There are very few elements with which this universe is made up, and they are very fine in structure. The first, there are few important points which are he has mentioned. The first point which he mentioned, the spectroscopy of the heavens show the enormous prevalence everywhere of the hydrogen. But hydrogen is merely the primordial positive and negative electrons tied together or in the process of being so tied. Spectroscopy. What is spectroscopy? Spectroscopy is nothing yet. It is a study of absorption and emission of the light and other radiation of the matter. So when we utilize the spectroscope, we can understand what are the things which are present over there. And we can understand the fineness of the substance. The first, if we open the periodic table, the first element which comes over there is the hydrogen. Hydrogen is a part of this universe. Hydrogen generally remains in gaseous forms. So, this hydrogen always remains what he says, but the hydrogen is merely the primordial positive and negative electron tied together and process of being so tied. So, it remains in a fixed state. That hydrogen as a remedy we can use in our materia medi. If you have the soul of remedies by Shankaran sir, you can get that remedy hydrogen over there. I think it is there in this book. I don't know exactly, but hydrogen is mentioned by sir. Is it there? No. There is one important feature. Hydrogen I have missed. If you open my blog, in the blog I have shared one case of hydrogen. And I have shared that I missed a case of hydrogen. Under that heading, I have explained that case. And that is, there is one important feature which is there in hydrogen element, that there is a conflict in their mind, whether they are the persons of this universe or another universe. This conflict is always there in hydrogen mind. I had a patient of eczema who was talking more clearly about the as if he is a philosopher or like that. And my one of my student who was treating him, he has treated him with sulfur, like all those remedies, but they were partially working. But when I talked with him, and I have nearly about half an hour or 1 hour's discussion with him, and he was just in the similar manner, in the philosophic manner, he's explaining his existence. And he was talking, doctor, I feel I'm not a person of this earth because my wavelength is not matching with people's over here. I feel I'm of absolutely a person from different universe. This conflict is always there with the hydrogen personality. So we have all those medicines which are there in our materia medica and which we can use as a weapon. Those ingredients which are there in the periodic table, all we used to prepare the medicine. And every medicine has its specific explanation. It is its specific proving. And when we match the symptoms, we can apply it in the patient. So he's trying to correlate the science with the homeopathy. He's trying to correlate and explain to the world that how homeopathic medicines are scientific and why they works. They are not, it is not the placebo effect, it is the effect because they are more scientific and works in the similar type of plane. So I think it is better to conclude over here. Tomorrow we will go with the next paragraph. We have to understand those absolute scientific aspects of the homeopathy. And Robert and Close, both of them have tried their level best to explain this scientificity. And if we know, we can always have a fight with everyone who used to deny homeopathy. And for that purpose, it is necessary to know all those things. I think that's all for today. Today evening, we'll meet again with one more remedy from the Materia Medica. I don't know which is there for today's session. I think we have finished last time the nitric acid. We have to discuss Nux moschata, very important remedy. In fact, generally overlooked, but very important from practice point of view. So I will share the cases with of the Nux vomica, Nux moschata in today's session, and we'll meet sharp at 8:15. Thank you, and tomorrow again we'll meet with the further understanding of the same chapter. Thank you and good evening.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Have a good evening.
Thank you.